Hi.
I'm sorry. I just noticed Troy's name. That took me out.
No way, Troy.
You know what? That's a great way to be like, I'm here.
That is hilarious.
It's been consistent for 3 years, and I would just like one time for the chat not to spell my name TROI.
I'm mad. Troy coming in here, guns blazing, choosing violence today.
Right. I looked up and I was like, oh my God.
Oh my God. I'm cracking up.
I get it. I understand because I'm a girl. There's a want to spell it with an I, but I have the basic white man version. So
that's fair.
So funny. Oh goodness.
But yes,
all
about
right.
This picture I sent y'all of my brother. I was like, dudes with little pets always crack me up.
It is really funny.
Like they all act the same. Whether it's a small cat or a small dog, it's like, I'm going to treat this little thing like it's the most precious thing in the world.
I was about to say, they become obsessed.
Yeah.
And
I used to do this when she was a pup, when she was smaller, but like now it's just, she's so big. And I'm like, shut up. You still like it. He's like, I do.
Oh, that's so sweet.
She goes into a whole tangent like, she's so spoiled. How did she get spoiled, my guy?
Yeah. They definitely spoil them. They just turn into little balls of mush.
Yeah, talking about some, she doesn't get kibble. She gets like the other kind of food because that's better for her stomach. I was like, oh, okay.
But you have to respect it. I can't even be mad.
Oh, I think it's hilarious. I mean, I crack jokes on my brother all the time. I'm like, just embrace it. It's okay. We're not going to judge you. We already know who you are anyway. So why are you pretending?
My dad actually, he'll have like bones and stuff for Jackie, and I'll be like, okay, give it here, I'll give it to her. He actually one day was like, no, you can't give it to her. I was like, why? He goes, because then she'll think it's a gift from you. I was like, what are you saying right now?
My goodness.
You're not getting the credit that
I deserve. Basically, he said, don't you try to take my shine now. Like, don't do it. That is hilarious.
Oh my gosh. I love men with pets.
Me too.
I don't know what I just do. It is so entertaining to me.
Especially like you said, Brittany, when it's like the big masculine men with the tiny little dogs.
Oh my God, those are my favorites.
So I'm just excited that all of us are here to celebrate Nekkid and to talk about friendship love, which sadly, I had to look it up because you know how they talk about all the different types of love, and they have.
I know you did not just jump right into this topic without that intro.
Oh, I'm gonna do the intro. I'm just waiting for everybody to come in.
I was like, no, man, we practiced.
I'm done. Okay, let's do the intro. New intro. Oh my gosh. Okay, welcome everybody to Black Prose Podcast, where Black lives, Black voices, and Black stories have always mattered. I'm one of your hosts for this evening, Oshale of Oshi Reads.
I'm Brittany from Melanin Eclectic.
I'm Troy Nicole from Ink Flirt Studio.
Yes, Troy with a Y, not an I.
That is going to be a thing now.
Oh my goodness.
Happy Nekkid.
Happy Nekkid, everybody. But what I was going to say is that I had to look up, because you know how we always hear about like agape love and eros love. So I looked up the one for friendship, and it's philia, I believe. Philia, P-H.
Did you say philia or philia?
Philia with a P. P-H-I-L-I-A. That's the Greek. Because you know how like eros is like romantic love, and agape is like the love of God or something like that. Mm-hmm. So philia.
Everlasting, but yeah.
Oh, everlasting. Okay, so philia is like the love of friendship. So I specifically looked it up so that I could sound smart in my advertising.
Sound smart. I thought you were about to say so you could be well informed. I'm done.
No, because I did a little like video in the stories and I wanted to sound smart. So I specifically looked it up. Because all I could remember was Agape and Eros. And I was like, that's not the one.
Well, for those of you who are new, welcome to Black Pros. We cut up for like the first 5 to 10 minutes, just waiting for people to come in.
Yep.
But as Ashley has so kindly put it, we're here because it's Nekkid. It's Black Love Month. If you don't know, we've been doing this for what? This is the 3rd annual Nekkid Readathon, an ode to Black love and Black romance.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it is.
And
we're having a great time already.
Freestyle week.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided that we would come in hitting really hard in the love category for our first podcast for the month.
Yes. We're talking about friendship love, which a lot of times can be more intense and deeper of a bond and a connection than some of our romantic loves. And when those friendships fall apart, you are left picking up the pieces. And that's what we're here to talk about.
Yeah.
So how personal are we going to get? Because I feel like the energy just went way down.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of hit us with that deep moment. So.
I know.
It was just kind of like, ooh, yeah.
Okay, let me start with just a generic question. And I'm going to take a page out of Taye Diggs' book.
Oh.
And you remember in that movie, Brown Sugar, when he was like, when did you first fall in love?
I love that movie.
That's one of my favorite chick flicks.
That is one of my favorite movies.
So I'm going to take a page out of his book and say, when did you first have your first friendship breakup?
Or the first dramatic one? Because, like when we're younger, we break up with friends all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, not like a mutual, like, oh, you can't go over to Josephine's house anymore because her mom does drugs. Not like that. But...
Whoa.
Wait, you went 0 to 1,000. I'm talking about when we're like in elementary school and stuff, and like I don't like her because she has the same pencil I do, kind of fool.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Ashley jumped the drug dealer, bro.
I'm so sorry. Okay, well, there's like that mutual drifting apart or just petty stuff like you with the pencil. But I'm talking about like something dramatic where you were like, you come to school and you see each other and you're like, I'm going to have to see them today and we're not friends anymore. And, it's very dramatic.
Okay.
Oh, man. It's going to sound crazy, but that wasn't really... I experienced like a minor one my senior year of high school, but I realized after we broke up that we were friends based on survival, not actually because we were compatible or like a good match for each other kind of thing.
Yeah.
So like my first real breakup didn't happen until adulthood, but the senior year was the first time that I experienced like a friend just kind of lose a hello mine.
Staying on our cosmic sister level, I guess my first one then would have been senior year of high school as well.
For real?
Oh, wow.
You really are a connected being.
Because because a lot of my friends are friends I've known since I was really young, and not until I got to like middle school did I have people that I had met after my childhood friends. So this girl I had only met in high school. So it wasn't like we weren't, doing mani-pedis, but I mean, we were really close. We were in the same friend group, but that was probably like my first one. The first one that like actually had me hella mad.
Yeah, senior year then. That was the first one because I actually had to fight her because she slapped my brother.
Because she did what?
She put her hands on my brother, and so we had to fight.
Yeah, that's unacceptable.
That's
like
basically how that happened. Like
you can't mess with family. That's where you draw the line.
But I didn't have like real friendship breakups where I was just like, wow, this was like detrimental to my health until I was an adult.
Yeah, because I guess like when you're an adult, you feel things so many more levels. And I feel like when you're a child, your friends are important, but as you get older, they become like your chosen family. And so it kind of hits you a lot deeper. I feel like my first friendship breakup was actually in the 2nd grade.
Dang.
And it was when we first came to America. We lived in Philly, and I went to like one of those inner city schools. And I was bullied a little bit, not terribly, but a little bit. And it was very traumatic. And then I remember I made friends with this girl, and I thought everything was cool until I came to school one day, and she literally just decided that we weren't going to be friends anymore. And not only were we not going to be friends anymore, but she was going to beat me up after school.
What?
Oh.
Yes, it went from 0 to 60. And I was a kid where I had never really been in a fight before. I had never been in like a physical altercation of any kind. And here I was about to be in a fight with this girl after school. And like the way that fights always happened at the school, and they would always be outside, and like there was like a chain link fence. Like picture the opening scenes from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That's what this school looked like. I'm not kidding. You know when he's like being spinned around?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like, I sent you so you wouldn't be getting in fights no more. I sent you to live with your uncle in Bel-Air.
Yeah.
That's very much, I connect very deeply to that part of the song because it was very much like that. It was like a chain link fence around this like asphalt outside, and all the kids would gather around in a circle around the kids that were fighting. And this happened all the time. And the teachers wouldn't do anything about it. Like nobody cared. So that was probably my first friendship breakup.
Man.
Damn.
Yeah, and it actually resulted in a physical altercation.
Well, you know what? Maybe I didn't have any when I was that young because I'm such an antisocial person. And so I didn't have like a plethora of friends at school anyway.
Yeah.
I moved too much.
That too. I went to like 7 or 8 different elementary schools, so there was no room for me to really break up. It was just more like, I mean, my guy, you live in Maryland. How are we going to talk?
Right.
Yeah, it's like we carried military brat friendships are kind of different because you have friendships where you're like, oh my God, this is my ride or die. And then, ooh, my dad got travel papers, so we out. I guess we'll like talk to each other on AIM or maybe MySpace every once in a while, but like there's really nothing we can connect to because we're no longer like on the same base.
Yeah.
So the next one. And then I didn't carry any friends over until my junior year of high school when I was in Germany. And that was when I carried 3 people from Germany to be my friends to this day. Well, of the 3, 2 of them are still my friends, but one of them was like the worst heartbreak ever. Oh. So I also think time actually has something to do with how bad it is.
Wait, what do you mean?
Well, because think about it, especially since we always talk about how hard it is to make friends as an adult.
It's extremely difficult.
Because it's like we retract back into our like first day at kindergarten type mindset.
We do.
And it's like, oh my gosh. So when you have friends, even for me, like I had these 3 friends that I had that I talked to every day almost. I moved to Florida senior year, still talk to them throughout my entire college career, still talk to them, maid of honor in one of their weddings, like gonna be in the wedding party of one of the other ones. And we, like, if I ran for president, all 3 of them would have to go.
Right.
Because I've invested time, honesty, and just intimacy with these people because they know all my secrets.
Yeah. And they've been there for so many of the big moments.
For so many moments, so many ups and down moments, they were there. And they were the people that I call all the time. And 2 of them I still talk to regularly, but not as much. But the one that I used to call, and we used to have like the way that I talk to my sisters on FaceTime, we used to talk like that all the time. Mm-hmm. And so you're just like, okay. But then you realize like, sometimes, like this is what my mom says all the time. Sometimes even though they're not a leaf, they might just be a really thick branch. And even branches fall off. And you're like, that is so logical, but woman.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's real right there. But like, what do y'all think about when people say like time heals all wounds? Like the longer it's been since the relationship, fell apart, the easier it'll be to deal with it.
I'm gonna let Troy answer that because the statement I just had in my head was not appropriate.
Oh no!
Oh shit!
You know what? I agree to a certain extent. I agree because I think the first real friendship breakup I had was with the girl I've known since middle school, and I chose to end our friendship in a very immature way. Our freshman year of college. Well, my freshman year of college, and when I look back at it, I have no qualms. That was like, 8 years ago at this point. I have no problems with her. If I saw her on the street, it's not like it'd be on sight or anything. I just don't really think about her unless I'm thinking or retelling a memory that involves her. But even if it involves her, I don't have any like sadness that I guess I had at the time. So I do agree that time can heal wounds when it comes to friendship breakups, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it gets rid of I don't know how to explain this, but the best way I can explain it is I saw this one tweet that was like, friendship breakups are worse than relationship breakups because bitch, I love you. What you mean we can't work it out?
That's so real.
That's the best way that I can explain it. It's that I feel like you can still sit there and be like, how have we been friends this long? I love you so much.
Yeah.
But we still could not find a way to communicate better, to resolve this conflict better, to do whatever we could to keep this friendship afloat.
It is kind of sad when you put it that way. Like for me, I've found that the further away I am from the girl that I was when we were friends, the easier it is to bear. So it's like I had a friendship breakup from like my freshman year of college with a girl who was like my best friend, like the last couple years of high school. And then we went to college together and we just could not survive that first year of college. Our friendship completely fell apart. And we were so close, like we just had such a bond. But now it's been, so many years later. And that girl that I was in high school and that girl that I was when we were friends, I'm so far removed from that girl. She was so young, so naive, didn't know anything, very sheltered, just so green that I'm so far removed from that young girl that when I look back on the friendship, I no longer feel any type of deep emotion. I mostly just feel like gratitude and fondness that we got to have that bond in that time of my life because it was a very transitional time, like, finishing up high school and going to college and leaving a small town and moving to New York City. It was like a very transitional, special time in my life. And I'm grateful that I got to have that friend during that time. But I'm so far removed from that girl now that it almost seems like it was a different life. So I don't really feel any deep emotion about it. Like I look back and I'm just like, oh yeah, wow, okay. I don't know if that made sense.
I agree with that though, because I'm so different now than I was back then when I chose to, and I'm just going to put this out there. This is super immature. I was 18, 19 when this happened. I ghosted her on every platform, on everything imaginable. I ghosted her.
Oh no.
I completely ghosted her in 2015. I want to say, 2015, 2014, one of those. I graduated high school 2014. So yeah, about 2014, 2015. I ghosted her. I very immature, could have gone about it a better way. I look back at it now and I'm like, I'm such a different person now. Like with my most recent friendship breakup that happened about 6 months ago. I did not ghost this person. I have way more love and respect for her than to do something like that.
Right.
But me coming out of high school is so different than me now because coming out of high school, I knew that I hadn't changed much in the sense that I was not good at conflict resolution. I wasn't good with conflict at all. I do not like even having arguments with people. That's why everyone says my personality is nonchalant. And it kind of is, because I'm so used to just being like, you know what? Anything that does not revolve around me having to get into it, okay, that's fine. The reason I ghosted her, which is still immature, because again, why couldn't your ass at 19 just have a conversation with this person? Was because I had brought up the problem to her before, and I let her kind of gaslight me into believing that I was being overdramatic and that I just needed to get over it and we still be friends, while she still treated me like I was just like you would have thought I fucked her boyfriend or something. Like that's how bad it was. And so I was just like, I know I'm easily manipulated at this point in my life. I just need to ghost you. I cannot deal with you anymore, because I know if I bring it up to you, I'm going to feel bad about you feeling bad, and I'm going to be in the same cycle over and over and over and over again. Now, at almost 27 years old, no, fuck you. Like, no,
yeah,
this is it.
No. But I think that it's something admirable. There's something admirable in the fact that you had enough self-awareness to know, like, I cannot handle this person and their manipulation. And I know that I cannot handle that because they don't respect my boundaries, and I don't know how to deal with them not respecting my boundaries. So I'm going to do what's best for me and completely just ghost them.
Yeah.
Okay, spin that around. I like that.
I will say again, it was super immature for me. You know, we've been friends since we were like 11, 12 years old. I could have gave her a decency of, but you know what I told my mom this recently. I think what it comes down to is that I don't think I had as much respect for, I'll call the girl Anna. I don't think I had as much love and respect for our friendship, my friendship with Anna, as I did with my most recent one. Because my most recent one, I don't think I would have ever even thought of ghosting this person because of how close we were and how long we had, not just how long we've been friends, but just how close we were. With the other girl, even though we had been friends for a long time, it was like a lot of build up to it. And I was just like, I am going to lose my mind.
Yeah. It was just too much. So my question is, a lot of people have mentioned that they have lost friends since the pandemic, since Black Lives Matter, since the pandemic,
2016.
Since 2016 with that election. Like, there's just been a lot of pivotal things that have happened in our country within the last, 5, 6, I can't do math, years that have caused, I really can't do math, y'all. It's been like, 7 years, that have caused people to part ways with their friends, some of their closest friends, because of a differing of opinion, a differing of political stance, racial divides that they didn't even know was there until certain things occurred. So my question is, do you think that it's possible to have differing political views, differing views about police brutality,
absolutely not,
different, and still be friends with somebody?
Absolutely not.
Really?
We can disagree on whether or not the pink starburst is the best starburst in a pack. We cannot disagree on police brutality against Black people, the gay community. We cannot disagree on basic human rights.
I actually disagree.
Ooh.
I kind of disagree too.
I disagree.
I'm gonna let you go, Troy.
I disagree, not because of me. No, you will not be in my house telling me that my life doesn't matter, that Hispanic lives don't matter, that the LGBTQ
you can
lives don't matter.
Don't matter right on out the fucking house. Bye.
However, there are plenty of people in the world who marry and are friends with people with completely different views than them. And I'm just like, how do you sit there and talk to this person who goes to rally screaming, build the wall, and your mother is from Mexico? How do you do it?
Okay,
they're in denial.
To me, that is extreme, because I guess for me, living kind of in a unique place where I live in a very liberal part of North Carolina, but it's still a red state. Mm-hmm. And I still have friends who voted Republican and who will always vote Republican. And it's interesting when I have conversations with them. A our differing opinions. And it's like, they're not coming from a place of, they're not coming from an extreme place, I should say. They're not coming from like, oh, we don't support Black Lives Matter and we don't support gay rights and we don't support gay. They're not coming from that place. They're coming from more of like, well, you know, I still support the police because my grandfather was a police officer and my husband is a police officer. And I do think that they need to be reformed. And I do feel like what they're doing, some of what they're doing is wrong, but I can't just like say abolish the police because I have family members who are police officers. So they're coming from like that angle, or like an angle like, well, I voted for Trump and I understand that some of his politics are wrong. But I just
bro, those aren't even politics. They made it into a political statement, but it's still basic human rights. No, because this is how I lost one of my best friends. No, absolutely not. We do not have disagreements about things about whether or not my life matters, whether or not it's worth protesting that people like me are not treated equally. I don't give a fuck about any other crap. I got police officers in my family. And I still be like, abolish. Don't know how to abolish. Because there's far too many bad ones that outweigh the good ones. But I had this same conversation with my friend or my old friend, and she was like, are you telling me that like you think I'm a racist? I said, no, I think that you're comfortable being around them. Because you might have voted Republican for other reasons, but most of them voted because they're afraid that Black people are going to feel like they need to get revenge. So like, no, not in this day and age, because it used to be about like actual political stuff when people say stuff like that. But since 2016, it hasn't been. And to the people that try to pretend like it's not, that's a lie. No,
it's been very extreme.
We literally, my friend, I've been friends with her since junior year of high school, since 2000, I don't even know, 2005, 2006. We stopped talking in 2020. It hurt. But also I realized that if push came to shove, she would not have my back.
I think that's where you draw the line. I think that you can disagree. This is what I think. I think you can disagree on political stuff. You can disagree on, you know, like, for example, I have some friends that we believe different things when it comes to like abortion rights and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, if I feel like if I had an issue and I need them to stand with me, if I felt like they couldn't stand with me, that's when I would feel like the friendship would break and we would have to go our separate ways.
We did. I just can't. Like, I have coworkers that literally try to have conversations with me and then they'll be like, oh, I voted for Trump, but I'm not racist. Like, why do you feel like you have to say that right off the bat?
Yeah, that's never a good sign.
Exactly.
Always a red flag.
That's what I'm saying. It's like nowadays, it's like, no, the conversation of politics is not even about actual political issues. It's about human rights, about just us.
Yeah.
So it's like when people try to act like it's something so simple, we can be different. No, we can't. Because you have a privilege where you can ignore it and I can't. And the fact that you are using your privilege as a way to tell me to chill out, we can't be friends.
So essentially you're saying that if people have those differing views, you don't think that the friendship can stand?
I think that at that point, there's a part of the friendship that they are ignoring.
Yeah, I guess it's like the elephant in the room where you just like don't talk about certain things with that person. You're like,
because it's just like, so when you're watching, like if y'all are in the room and you're watching like the news or something, and you see a riot going on that they claim was because of us, but we all know it was terrorist. Thank you, Beyonce.
Those terrorist organizations that came in.
I mean, Beyonce literally has a line in one of her songs, like, because these Karens have turned into terrorists, and it has melted into my soul.
Oh my gosh.
But like, I just feel like since 2016, like I've seen people that I really considered my friends show their entire booties, like entire buttholes. And then it's got me questioning myself. It's got me questioning like our entire friendship. Because it's like, I don't even know how to put this. I'm going to call her I'm not going to call her anything. I'm just going to call her the girl because I don't want to mess up and say her real name. But because like, how do I put this? So basically in 2016, she had been dating this Caucasian male on my insistence, by the way. Let's just remember that part. And it was around the time that Philando Castile was murdered.
Right.
And that particular one like really hurt my soul. Like
that was horrible.
Why that one hurt my soul. And she called me just to have a regular conversation as if nothing ever happened. And I was like actually crying from this particular situation. And she's like, oh my gosh, what's the matter? And I'm just like, what you mean? What's the matter?
Right.
So like that was like we had like a true blue argument about race for the first time in our entire friendship. Now she is white passing. She's not white. She's white passing. And so it was a very weird conversation, but like it turned into her making a conversation about how she had to move out of the neighborhood that she was in because she was she wanted to move in with her boyfriend, but she didn't think he would feel safe moving into a Black neighborhood.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
She said that?
Yeah. And we had like, I had never yelled, like we had never had an argument like that before. Like we yelled.
What? Was she even in an unsafe area? Because not all Black neighborhoods are the same.
Also, I'm not even trying to be funny, but the hood's some of the safest place to be sometimes. So we
sometimes, yeah.
Like but yeah, she lived in the hood. She was perfectly fine there, but he wasn't. And so we had a huge argument. I didn't talk to her all weekend. Like I muted her because I just didn't know how to process like what just happened, because I was like, nah, maybe she's just being over dramatic. Like I immediately started trying to justify her actions.
Because she was your friend. I feel like
for so many years. And then that weekend she got engaged.
And it's so chaotic.
There's so much to unpack here. And like,
listen, I'm only sharing this because I'm trying to explain like why I believe that there is no such thing as us having polar opposite opinions on things like this, and we can still be friends, because you can't. So she comes back and she apologizes for everything that she said because she realized how insensitive and hurtful it was. And she noticed she never said she realized how racist it was. Keep that in mind. But she basically apologized to tell me she was engaged. And so me being who I was back then, I accepted the apology and tried to get excited for her.
All I can think about is the fact that Tamara and her husband don't talk about race, and they have 2 kids, and they've been married for over 10 years. That's my comment.
But that's another perfect example, actually, since we're there. I mean, because he literally does not allow, he does not allow them to talk about race. But like, you cannot have opposing arguments, because even by then we had started having conversations, and like I had met him, and like I met his racist, passive aggressive racist family.
Ooh.
And like we were all at a table and they decided they wanted to start talking about Trump, and like my friend's just having a whole conversation with him, and I'm looking at her like, bitch, since when?
Okay, so did you feel that she was kind of like, also again, it reminds me of that book Passing. I don't know if you guys have ever read that book, but they made it into a movie recently. But essentially it is about a biracial woman who is born light enough to pass in a time where that was actually very dangerous, but a lot of people did it anyway to, for a better life. And I feel like that happens today in a different way, like in a more psychological way of like, that you have access to more privilege and to a better life if you're able to fit into a certain type of culture and a certain type of mindset and belief system. And especially if you are dating somebody who's already from the dominant culture, it gives you even more access. It's like a gateway. And I think that a lot of times people choose to take the easy road and take the easy way out, and they're just like, you know what, I'm just not gonna rock the boat,
and that causes friendship breakups.
It's a Not Passing by Nella Larson, but it's based, I want to say it's based on a true story. I may be totally off, but they made it into a film recently.
Is that the one
with
starring
Tessa Thompson? Tessa Thompson. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Love Tessa.
But I feel like now we psychologically pass. Like even people of color who aren't white passing psychologically, it kind of explains why so many Latinos voted for Trump, even though he was like putting them in cages. Like, I mean, can you trying to psychologically wrap my mind around that is truly amazing.
I don't think we'll ever wrap our heads around it. And this is why you can't be friends with somebody with that kind of opposing opinion.
Okay, I will just say this because I love playing devil's advocate, and I actually do have friends who have different political views from me. I feel like if your core values are the same, then you can be friends, because some people just, their politics is politics and not so much human rights. They're like, well, yeah, that's wrong, and no, we shouldn't do that, and that's fucked up. But I still believe that, you know, abortion is wrong, and I still believe that the government should be less and states should have more power. Like, you know, very basic Republican core values.
I mean, yeah, that would be fine if that was the true political standpoint of a Republican. But the ones that are in office that have power, that is not what they care about.
Well, their party is all kinds of jacked up, and it's being led by the extremists.
I would never identify as a Republican or a Democrat. I am neither, because neither one of them care about Black people.
They don't. Okay, so you know what? I get what you're saying. You're saying, how can you affiliate yourself with a party that has gone so off the rails to the point where the worst of you are representing you?
And not to mention, you can ignore it to try to say, well, this is why I'm a Republican. Like, yes, I know that they're being blatantly racist, homophobic, transphobic, all of these things, but like, that's not why I'm a Republican. But I'm going to like vote for all of the ones who think like that because they're Republican.
Right.
Like, unfortunately, we do not have the option to separate.
That's very true.
So it's like, you can tell me that you believe that that state should have more governing power over themselves. And, you know, that's why you're a Republican. But it doesn't matter, because the people that you're voting in, they could care less about that part. What they want is all the things that are phobics and isms.
Right.
So it's like, you have a privilege to be able to separate it. I cannot. And I realized that with my friend, that it was just like, wow, like there is no coming back from this, because I cannot separate being Black out of my existence to allow you to still be in my life. Because I'm Black. It's never going to change.
It's getting deep.
I mean, that's real, because it's like, for me to have let that friendship go, I mean, it's been years now. It took me years to get to the point that I am at now, where I realize that, yeah, she was a really thick branch. She had to let go, or it was going to catch my whole tree on fire.
So we have missed some amazing comments. So I just wanted to go back.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
To acknowledge some of these great comments that we have been getting. Ooh. Sorry, my computer was like, I don't want to do that. So let's see what we have here. Okay, so this is when we were talking about the political thing.
Yep. Nope. I can't be cordial, but a friend. Nope. It always ends up with folks saying dumb shit. And it literally ended with her saying some dumb shit. It literally ended exactly that way. Yeah. Like, my Blackness is never a side point. They turn my Blackness into a political statement, into a separating distinction of parties. They've turned my Blackness into a statement. And therefore, you cannot ignore me and pretend I don't exist as a Black person.
That was like a poem.
I know. I wish I had remembered to write that kind of stuff down. Dang.
It's okay. We can go back and rewatch this part of the life.
It's like say something deep, go right into our normal behavior. It's like
oh, okay. Here we go. Too many folks show their true colors during the Obama presidency, during the 45 era, and on January 6th.
Listen, and again, I quote Beyonce: "Them Karens turned into straight terrorists."
Let's see. Okay, this is a good one.
I say that too many times, we'll get bots in here.
Speaking for myself, certain arguments and frustrations aren't worth it. In the Black community, we do have classism and colorism to unpack, but we also have the issue of white apologists.
Yeah, I just think that with everything that's going on in the world right now, I can't hold on to people who are not 100% riding for me at all times.
Let's see here.
Not talk about Bruno. Listen.
Look, all I kept seeing, like when you talk about your friend, I just picture her as Tamara Mowry.
I try not to because I really hope that.
And I like Tamara.
She's living, because I'm not gonna lie. Because we're talking about friend breakups. I still check out her social media regularly.
Okay, so this is gonna segue into my next question.
Ooh.
Yes. Do you think it's easier to get over a friendship breakup if you're the one who made the decision to break up the friendship, or if you are on the receiving end of the friendship being broken off?
I've been on both sides. They hurt equally. Well, actually, no. Well, actually, yeah, but they hurt for different reasons. Like when I broke off one of my friendships, it was because I understood that that connection that we had for so long was no longer necessary for either one of us. Because we were both going in completely different directions. So we had, like, it had to be done. Because otherwise we would have left on the terms that were just like hate. And that's not where I wanted to leave it. Whereas when it hit me, when I was notified that I was being dropped, it hurt just the same, but it hurt because I felt like I got ambushed.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know which one is better, because I still cried when I ended my friendship, and then I cried when the friendship was ended by someone else. So I can't even say which one would hurt worse.
Okay, this is going to sound really bad. In high school, when we had a very big melodramatic high school friendship group breakup. But to tell you the truth, I didn't care. I wholeheartedly did not care. And the only reason I even addressed it was because one of the girls that was like being very weird, I would see her in the hallway and I'd be like, "Hey, Marie." It's not her name. I'm just saying that. She would like look at me and then look away. And I'm like, what the hell? The girl was so bubbly. And I didn't even know that she stopped being friends with me until I came up to her. And I'm just like, bro, what is it? What's going on? You're being weird. And so she told me, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I moved on. The only reason I had to go back and talk to her again was because our other friend like came to me crying about it, talking about she's like my best friend. Like, how could she do this to me? I was like, yeah, but I mean, I don't care, but okay. So I had to go, and I was like, listen, listen, I had a mouth in high school, okay? So be aware of that before I was to say this. I stopped her in front of the library, and she looked very exasperated. Like she really didn't want to talk to me. And I was just like, listen, bro, I really don't care if we're friends or not, but Janet is over here crying. Can you please talk to her? And she goes, yeah, I'll hit her up after school. I said, okay, good. And I went home.
Oh my God.
And
I
have never talked to her since.
Troy said, I didn't give up.
Troy was like, I really don't have the energy for this. So can we just handle this now?
But let me explain. had she had a valid reason as to why she stopped talking to me, but the reason that she stopped talking to me is because someone else told her a lie about me. What? That I was like running my mouth about her on Twitter of all things. I was like, but that would mean that you could go to my Twitter and see it. But whatever. I don't even use Twitter like that, not even back then. And so I was irritated because I was just like, instead of coming to me and being like, because this girl didn't have Twitter, and she heard from one of our other friends that I was saying something about her on Twitter. Was not in a conversation about whoever was talking. Now, people were talking shit about her on Twitter. I just wasn't one of them. Mm-hmm. But instead of giving me the, decency of asking, because if I'm talking shit, I'm probably gonna say it to your face. Right. She went ahead and started acting weird, and I was just like, you know what? We're good. But Janet over here crying, and I can't eat lunch. So can you please come talk to her?
Not I can't eat lunch.
I feel like this is disrupting my lunchtime. Please figure this out quickly.
And we have never, I'm so not joking, we have never spoken since. Like, never.
Damn.
And that was, I think, senior year of high school. But on the opposite end, I'm not going to lie. The first real friendship breakup I had in my adult life, I didn't cry. But I did feel the weight of her not being around anymore, of me not talking to her. Granted, I didn't talk to her every single day, but we were very close. We hung out a lot. She knew my family. Our parents knew each other. Well, our moms knew each other. And so it was weird. But I didn't have a very detrimental one until my most recent one. When I tell you I cried for probably 2 months. Yeah, I cried for 2, and I was the one that ended it.
Yeah.
So I just feel like it probably depends on the relationship and how that person was in your life. Because the first girl in high school, I mean, we were friends, we were all in the same friend group, but I can't sit here and be like, I really felt like I lost something. But with the other 2 girls, it really did feel like a part of me was like, just like this whole aspect of my life was completely over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like,
that's very real.
It's different when it's like, this is a person I confide in. This is the person my ride or die. I do dumb stuff with her. We do happy stuff. We do sad stuff. I've been here for every one of her breakups, every one of her makeups. Like, it's like, I'm not the boyfriend. I'm the soulmate. I've been here forever.
That's very true. Now
I'm saying goodbye to my soulmate, and you want me to function like a human being.
And I feel like sometimes it's even worse when you're the person that decided to end the friendship, because you have to come to terms with the fact that for whatever reason, you just feel that this connection is no longer beneficial. Mm-hmm. And not in a selfish way, but just like, this is no longer good for me. It's becoming toxic. I don't feel respected in this situation. I don't feel like my boundaries are being respected. I don't feel like whatever the reason is, when you're the one that has to make that choice, in some ways it's even worse, because it's like, you're still going to feel the hurt and the pain, but it's like, you did it, it's like, I am the one that made this decision, and I hurt myself basically. And I know it's going to hurt, and I know it's going to be horrible, but I still have to make this decision because it's what's best for me in the long run.
And call them.
Yeah.
Yes.
There have been so many, especially when there's something that you guys had in common, that like, if something were like, I don't know, like, let's say your favorite artist comes out with a new album, and the first thing you think of is, oh, let me text this bitch. But then you're like, oh, wait, I can't text you. Mm-hmm. I ended this friendship. Like, there is no texting you.
Oh, it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. Like, when they were like your go-to person for a lot of niche stuff that you had in common, like my most recent friendship breakup, like when the Summer I Turned Pretty series came out, like I was just like gagging because I made her read. I read the book like a couple years ago in 2019. I read the entire series. I binged it, and I was like, this is the most toxic shit I've ever seen in my life. And then I like forced her to read it, and then I forced her to be in a YouTube video with me about it. And so when they came out with the series, I was like, dang, I can't even like text her or call her, be like, oh my God. But it's like, I'm thinking it in my head because we had that shared moment. But it's like, I'm like you know, having that experience by myself, and I'm sure she's having that experience by herself. And it's just like it's so weird. It's so weird. It's crazy.
No more than like 2 months ago, I had gone on like this, not a purposeful cleanse, but like an almost like cleanse from listening to K-pop music, because it reminded me of my most recent friendship breakup too much, to the point where I would only listen to some songs that I did not pit with being in her car and taking road trips with her. And I was in my mom's room, and I had her YouTube. Oh, I was signed into YouTube. And so the TV played this song that reminded me of our trips to Dallas. I started crying. This was 2 months ago. I haven't talked to her seriously since December.
Wow.
I started are trash.
Bawling. And I was just like, bitch, you are the one that ended this friendship. And I have to remind myself, I'm just like, and this is actually a question I wanted to ask you guys, which was, does all the good in those friendships that you had, like all of the amazing times, ever make you think, like sit there and be like, oh my gosh, do I regret this? Like, did I make the right decision? Because I have to constantly remind myself, yes, you were very close to this person. There are some things you told them that you didn't tell anybody else. Y'all had so many things in common, did so many fun things. But then I do this thing now where my childhood best friend, I'll like put in our chat all the reasons I had to end our friendship. This is a different girl, mind you, who I'm sending the message to.
Yo.
So I can remind myself, and you guys read the text message I sent to the friend that I ended it with in December. So y'all know this.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I told her, I was just like, I don't think you're a bad person. I don't think I'm a bad person. I don't think either one of us are bad friends to the other. I think what it comes down to is that in the past 2 years, fundamentally, we are very different now. Like, we're the same, but we're different. We had just gone on vacation a month before I had stopped our friendship.
Right.
But even that, I was realizing that we're growing, but we're growing so differently. Our versions of friendship aren't the same anymore. And that's okay. But just because you don't see something wrong with your side of the friendship doesn't mean there was something wrong with my side of the friendship. I didn't think she was a bad person. I don't think she's a bad person. We have each other on social media. I don't think anything no ill will towards her. But for my sanity, I was like, no, I can't do this. I'm sorry. Because I also don't want it to be me stating boundaries and then you feeling like you have to like beat around the bush with me, or you can't be who you normally are because we're different now. When a better option might just be, we need to split up.
Yeah. I mean, for me, very similar to you, Troy. Like, I miss who I thought she was. That's who I miss. And like, I feel like a lot of times when we are friends with people and we truly love them and we accept them into our lives, we almost see them through rose-colored glasses. And like, when the mask finally slips and we like see all their traumas, I feel like one of two things can happen. Either the mask slips, we see all their traumas, we see like everything that they're fighting and they're dealing with and like all these other things. And it's either like we can like walk down the path together, side by side, supporting each other. Like, she's supporting me as I'm like battling my shit, and I'm supporting her as she's battling her shit. Or the mask slips, and because of the trauma, because of all the shit that they're dealing with, it actually makes them like, it makes it so that we're like adversaries, not supporters of one another. Like, that shit actually gets in the way of us being friends. And that's kind of what happened with my last friendship breakup. Like, this was a person who I kind of saw like a little sister almost. And like, whenever their mask would slip, it was almost like I just felt, after a while, I just felt like I became a therapist. I felt like I became a mom. I felt like I was constantly talking them off the ledge. I felt like I was constantly like trying to keep them on. It was just too much. And it was like, as much as I loved this person, and they weren't giving me the same back. So it was very unequal. They weren't in a place where they were able to support me. They weren't in a place where they were able to care for me in the way that I was caring for them. And so even before our friendship formally ended, I found myself like distancing myself from them. Like I wouldn't call them every day like I used to. Like I wouldn't always invite them to places like I used to. Like slowly but surely, I started to like pull back emotionally for my own mental health. And finally, when everything imploded in a very dramatic way, by the way, where like my boundaries were just completely disrespected, it was like it was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. Where I realized that like the person I thought they were isn't really who they were. And that was okay. And it's like, it's kind of like when you date a man and you date him for his potential.
Ooh.
It's the same thing. And then one day you wake up and you're like, yo, this nigga's never going to become who I like see. Like, it's never going to happen. Like I need to just leave now. And it doesn't mean that you guys didn't have great times together and you didn't have like laughs and bonds and all this stuff. Like the good stuff still remains, but it's just like you were seeing them in a certain light that just either they're never going to be or they're just not there yet. And so it's like, I got to go. I gotta go. And it still sucks, but it's like, I just remember how much relief I felt when we weren't friends anymore. And I was just like, this can't be good. I should not be. My first primary feeling, no matter how heartbroken I am, should not be relief. Like, that's not good.
True. I'm going to equate friend breakups to romantic breakups because they're similar in regards to breakups. So I'm going to compare it because it's just easier in my brain. I never forget the good times that I have in my relationships with people, whether it's friends or romantically. Those are actually reminders for me to not go back. Because every single time you chase a dream or a thought that you have infantilized in your brain, it is never going to be anything close to that in reality. It's like when I started craving Pop-Tarts and I went back and ate a Pop-Tart and I was like, the
You're
fuck
like,
is this?
nah. No. Unless it's the brown sugar and cinnamon one, I don't want it.
Again, but like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, oh man, I remember that Pop-Tart used to taste so good. Put that hoe in a toaster and it was lit. Went and bought a whole box of Pop-Tarts and them shits was nasty.
It tasted processed as fuck, didn't it?
Why? It's almost like you're romanticizing everything about the friendship.
Yeah. It's like, one, 100%. I romanticized it because obviously it tastes so good. 2, time has passed since I had that Pop-Tart. And they done changed a lot of things about Pop-Tarts, if y'all didn't know that. Like, they do not taste the same.
Not Brittany going on a real tangent now.
So, like,
about Pop-Tarts and all things.
It ties back in. Like, just look at the Pop-Tart as like your friend. It's like, yes, you miss the times that y'all had in the past. But that person that you are remembering didn't even exist when you broke up with them. Because they're not the same.
You know what my grandmother told me about my most recent friendship breakup, which I think hurt her more than it might have hurt me because she loves this girl. But she told me, she said, on both ends, it doesn't matter if it's platonic, familial, or a romantic relationship, that if you can't love a person for who they are, then it's not fair to them to live up to your expectations, and it's not fair to yourself to keep trying to force them on a person. And I was just like, you are 100% right.
Rough.
Yes. That is so good.
I like that. Okay. I have a question.
Ooh.
What have you been doing? Because I truly believe that healing is an ongoing process. Like, you hit different levels and you hit different moments. In my healing, I realized that, because obviously I've read the love languages book just like everybody else. And I realized how my love language actually transfers into my non-romantic, my platonic relationships. And it actually falls into my platonic relationships more than my romantic ones, because the platonic ones are the ones that I have more of.
Yeah.
It's so in my healing, I have like started making sure that all of my love tanks stay full all the time and be very verbal with the friends that I have. So my question to you is, what is a lesson that you learned from your friend breakup that you use in your life now?
Honestly, this is what I've learned, and I actually just had this revelation recently. I realized that the reason that my friendship with this person lasted as long as it did was because they always had to be the main character.
Ooh, main character syndrome.
Ooh,
and
shit.
I was always relegated to being a side character or somebody in the background of their life. And like me exhibiting any type of main character energy threatened them and made them feel insecure. So they would always make like little snide comments about like my YouTube channel and this book club and like anything that I was doing. Like I remember,
podcast.
yeah, girl. Yeah. And like when I got, asked to go speak at Book Net Fest, they would make comments about it. And like just anything that happened in my life that was positive, anything that happened that where like I got a little bit of a spotlight on me for something that I was doing that was good, they had to make some type of comment about it. And I let it go because I understood that it came from a place of deep insecurity. And so I was just like, whatever. And I never took it personally, but more recently I've come to realize while like analyzing that whole situation 2 years later, is that person was comfortable with me constantly pushing myself down and making myself small so that they could be big. And that person was comfortable with me constantly relegating myself to the background so that they could shine in the front. And like, that's not okay. And if anything, I will never put myself in a position like that ever again. And now the friends that I have in my life and the people I surround myself with are like people who gas me up and are like, you're so amazing. And I do the same for them. And I'm like, you're so amazing. And we're both comfortable with being who we are and being in the center of our own lives. And like, that's a huge thing that I learned. I was like, why was I so okay with like minimizing myself just to like make this person feel secure? I will never do that shit again.
I like that.
Yes. Snap, 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 snap.
So for me, something that I did more recently since I've been in Maryland with my mom and my sisters is me, my mom, and my baby sister. We sit around the living room and talk a lot. And me and my baby sister always joke that us 5 siblings have very poor conflict resolution, because instead of when we get irritated with each other talking about it, it may go on for 3 months of my sisters not speaking to each other, or my brother and my sister not speaking to each other, or me and my older sister not speaking to each other, yada, yada, yada. And my mom was like that she, in her older age, wants to, acknowledge the things she did not do well when her and my dad were raising us. And she always said that her toxic relationship with our father is one of the reasons she thinks we're so bad at conflict resolution. And as a kid, I realized this in the recent months. This is TMI probably, but I don't care. My parents had a very physically abusive relationship when I was young. So when conflict would come up in my life as a kid, it freaked me out. I did not like it. I couldn't stand it. And so I would do anything I could to move away from it. And then I got older and older, and it just kept on being a thing. I didn't have lots of friends. I have friends. Now, I'm not saying I don't have any. I didn't have any. I had friends. I just didn't have lots of friends. But if there was even the slightest bit of conflict, the slightest bit of something I didn't like, I would ignore it. And in my most recent friend breakup, I realized that part of myself I thought I had gotten rid of with my first friend breakup, it was still there. I was still doing the same thing of letting somebody do something I didn't like. And instead of bringing it up and being like, hey, I don't like this, I was shrinking into myself and letting myself just deal with it. And then I would get to a point where I just couldn't take it anymore. And I was just like, you know what? No. And then we did have conversations within our friend period of me telling her things I didn't like and everything. But it was just repeated and repeated and repeated. And I was still doing the same thing of being terrible at conflict resolution. And so more recently, I've been trying to voice things I don't like. I do it with my siblings first. I think it's the easiest people to do is when your siblings piss you off, just tell them like, listen, you need to shut the fuck up, you know? But I've been trying to do better at when something bothers me, say it immediately instead of letting it sit there and soak, because sitting there and like letting it fester and me get irritated, because I'm already an irritable person, is not healthy. It's super immature, and that's just not something that I want to take in further into my adulthood. I'm in my late 20s now, and I don't want to still be, I don't want that part of my childhood trauma to still be something that I take into my 30s. So, you know, that's something that I've been really working on recently, because my parents have such a good friendship now, and it's very weird to see, but seeing them have a good friendship and being able to talk and everything and learning how they got to that point has been a lot of help for me, and I think my little sister as well.
Ooh, snap,
yeah,
snap,
no,
snap,
that's
snap.
good.
Oh. Okay,
Look,
I'm gonna read some of the
Troy
comments.
said, never again.
Troy gave us a word. Okay, Abominable says, because the question was, what have you learned from your friend breakups? And it was, call out and handle issues as they arise. Stop suppressing everything. I just found this ironic that, you know, y'all were both on the same page. It's like,
oh yeah,
very much so.
The chat is
I
so
learned
slow.
to listen. Huh?
The chat be so slow on StreamYard.
It really
yeah,
is.
I know. So annoying. I learned to listen to what people say, how they treat others, and how they celebrate my wins versus theirs. Ooh, I think we heard this earlier too.
Yeah.
Also learned not to be folks' therapist.
That's a good one.
Listen.
That is a whole word in itself. It's so funny because I was scrolling on Instagram today, and I think I reposted it to my story. But one of the accounts that I really enjoy, her name is, what is her name? But she posted this thing today. Okay, so her account is Mina with 2 A's, MINAAB. Mina_B. And she posted this thing that was like 4 ways to practice healthy venting. And I reposted it to my stories because it was like, one of the things that I thought was crucial was ask before you dump. And she was like, please ask people before you have an emotion, like if they have the emotional capacity to handle and listen to you venting and complaining about something before you just like unload on them.
I have a story.
Yeah.
Ooh, what's the story, girl?
So that is funny because I have a friend. I have a friend right now. She's my ride or die. Like, I basically know she, like, it's like, I'm not even trying to be crazy when I say it. She's my sister. My family adopted her, not just my like immediate family, like my extended family also adopted her. It's like, call Diamond and tell her dinner is at 7.
Yeah.
Okay. But
That's
like,
funny.
I'm here. Like,
right. Like, what about me?
Right. Well, we have a rule where it's like, you could be having the shittiest day in the world. Well, actually, I practice this rule with most people that I communicate with. I've even started doing it with my siblings, and it has really helped like the way that we communicate, because sometimes when you're really close with your siblings, you have the worst communication. The worst. And it's like, doesn't matter what your day is like, you're going to say hello, and you're going to acknowledge that I am also a human with feelings.
I like that.
So, hey, how are you? Can I vent? Or are you in a good space right now? Like, these are questions that I started asking because I realized that I was a dumpster for so long. And it's not even like, it could even be one of those days where I'm not even really feeling the best, but because one of my friends or siblings or whoever called and was like, hey, how are you doing?
Yeah.
Do you have a moment? Can I vent? I will literally, even if I'm not feeling the best, it'll still be like, yeah, vent away. Because it's like, thank you for acknowledging that I am also a person, and that like, I'm not just a place for you to dump on them. Like, it is an equal relationship. You're acknowledging me while also asking me for help and giving me the option to decide whether or not I want to.
It's a real thing.
Yeah, it helps.
Some days you're not in that emotional place where you can like take on other people's issues. You're barely holding on as it is.
Situation worse if you're not.
Yes.
Yeah, it's caused massive arguments. But now we'd be like, hey, or even, and this is another thing, this is how I know like I'm in a good space with my friends, because even when I was dating a guy that they were not a fan of, or they were dating a guy that I wasn't a fan of, like this is literally what happened with one of my friends, and when she was dating her trash ex, I literally said, I do not like him. I think he is absolutely horrible for you and to you.
Ooh.
I will never accept him as your mate because I don't believe he's going to last that long. However, I'm with you till the end. Listen, to be my friend, you have to be my friend. There is a level of you have to take my bluntness, because sometimes I have difficulty. I have a difficulty making things nicer in the moment. So sometimes it comes out as blunt as I say it, but it was literally like, but please understand, I love you. I got your back. If you want to go back to him, then I'm here. But also, if you want to get revenge, I'm also here. Just let me know which direction you're going.
Not if you
Why
want to
are Brittany and I the same person?
Yeah, y'all the same.
No, because like my childhood best friend Ty, like she dated this one guy. I don't mind saying her name because she doesn't care. But she was dating this one guy. We equally couldn't stand each other. He couldn't stand me because I knew he was shady, and I couldn't stand him because he was shady. And literally, anytime now she tells me, "Oh yeah, he's coming to town," I'm like, "We still dealing with this nigga?" she'll be like, "Nick," and I'm just like, "Boo, do you? I don't gotta see him though, right?" And she was just like, "No, you don't have to see him."
That's really the energy. It's like, so to be clear, I'm not gonna fake the funk, so you don't want me around him.
Have y'all seen those TikToks of the girls who be at their friends' weddings, and the TikTok caption is,
"Oh my gosh,
us dancing at our friend's wedding after telling her she could do better for years."
It's the way that all the bridesmaids look fed up, but like still up there as bridesmaids, that send me every time I see those videos.
Ooh, that's a shame.
Okay, I have one more question for you guys.
But I hate the fact that I'm up here with you.
Right.
I'd be that bridesmaid that's like, there's a car in the back. Just if you want to go, we can get you out.
Yeah, because you have to be ride or die either way. Like,
right,
you gonna walk up there, I'm gonna be your ride or die. You want me to drive the getaway car, I'm gonna be your ride or die. Which one we doing?
Let me know. We planned an escape. Like, let me know, because it could work. I've done this before in a wedding. I'm not even gonna front with y'all.
Of course you have.
That is crazy.
I wasn't the maid of honor for this wedding, but like it was all the bridesmaids that were like, listen. So like during one of your drunk nights during our bachelorette weekend, you made a couple of comments that we were a little concerned about.
Oh my gosh.
But like, so we're just here to ask you, is this really what you want to do? Because we do have a plan of exit if you need it.
It's like, we can leave right now if you want to.
And she literally was like, oh my gosh, you guys are so amazing. I'm good. We're like, you sure? Because again, we got a plan. Like, let me know. I'll text and they'll pull up right now.
Oh my God.
Right now.
Like, car was back ready to go. Like, it was literally just going to be a text of like, roll up. We're ready.
I'm going to tell you guys.
An exit plan ready to go. But also, she said she wanted to get married. So what did I do? Walked myself down that aisle.
You know, it's so funny. Literally 2 weeks ago, my friend told me to stay awake at night. I was like, girl, why? And she was like,
stay awake at night.
Because she was like, because I might need you to get me out of this date. I'm like, girl, I'm in Maryland, not Texas. She was like, I know, just answer your phone. My ass goes to the bathroom and I feel my little Fitbit buzzing. I'm just like, damn, she chose the wrong time to call me. I get up and I go into my room, my mom's room, and I call her back. And I mean, I didn't even get to say hello. And she was like, no, I'm coming. Just wait there, okay? I'll be right there. I'm like, so this is how you're getting out of the date.
I helped my sisters get out of dates like that. Like, my sisters will text. If my sisters are going on a date, I make them take a picture of the dude on the slide because I need to know what he looks like. I play no games, big sister status. But 2, if the date's going bad, they will either excuse themselves to the bathroom or they'll text me. And we have a grading system, 1 through 10. So
oh my God.
If they text me like, 1 through 5, it's like, call, act like you need something, but like, don't do too crazy. But like if it's like 8 to 10, I need you to sound like you are in so much distress. One time I literally called her and said, Barney the dinosaur is dead and I need you.
Barney the dinosaur.
My friend was on the same level because she's talking about I'll take Alex to the hospital. That's her sister. I said, girl, you wishing death on your sister?
Yeah, see, we don't do people that are alive.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do
Auntie Lizzie's dead. Is that a lie? No, she did, but she didn't just die.
Oh my God, I'm crying.
You'd be like, Auntie Lizzie's dead. My sister was like, oh my God, are you serious? I was like, yeah, girl, she died. She was like, oh my God. Okay, well, call mom. I'm on my way. I was like, yeah, I got you. Then she gets to the car. She's like, my nigga, that was good.
Oh, I'm crying.
Okay. I can't say my sisters have grown to be like my friends now. Don't tell them I said that, but like
no, you can't tell sister shit like that. They get big.
They're ungrateful and it'll get to their head. You can't tell them nothing.
Especially being the big sister. No, you can't tell them that.
Oh my God. If they found out I said this, they would be like, well, like Brittany said no. Brittany said nothing.
Literally, I told my sister a couple days ago, I said, oh, you look so pretty. She goes, wait, I look pretty? You think so for real? I was like, why are you acting weird? And she was like, no, Troy, you don't give compliments like to me ever. I was like, oh, you know what?
Oh my God.
You know what? Little sisters are so dramatic. I'm sure you gave her plenty of compliments.
I can't not give her. She's gonna get so mad at me for saying this on YouTube. She will post something on Instagram and immediately be like, "So you're not gonna comment?" I'm like, like you posted this 20 seconds ago. So she made me turn.
FaceTime me. My sisters will FaceTime me while they're getting dressed. Ask me what they think they should wear. Put it on and then expect me to also gas them up again. Like, girl, I picked the outfit. Of course I know it works.
You know what kills me is that she wants me to go comment under, like, I don't know the picture. I'm like, and then I'll tell her, I'm like, Chris, every one of your followers know I'm the one who took the picture. Why am I gassing you up?
Like, I am the photographer.
I'm always that person that's like, if my sisters want me to leave a comment, I'm always like, you're ugly.
No, Brittany.
You know what, though? I actually do the most. And you know what's so funny is that she actually texted me. She was like, I asked her one day, I'm like, how are you so fast in liking my posts? And she goes, your notifications are on. And I was just like,
wait, you can turn notifications on?
Yeah, for normal people.
Yes.
And I was like, why do you have notifications on?
Yes.
She goes, wait, you don't have me.
Oh God.
I was like,
none of this.
I was like, I don't have your ass on my notifications as much as you post.
Okay. Your phone will be going off every 5 seconds.
My sisters will literally call me and be like, ooh, girl, where you going? Who you going to see? Girl, I was recording videos. What kind of videos?
Okay. Yeah.
Why are you a whore?
Not what kind of videos. Oh my Lord.
But no, I listen.
You have Christina lipstick on, but I like it. It's cute. What color is that? What?
Oh my gosh.
Christina is the baby.
They used to leave comments like that on my social media, and I just begged them to stop.
Yeah, no. Christina's the baby though, so I gave in, and now her notifications are on.
Oh.
Oh, that's cute. Don't say shit to my sisters.
Brittany said, I don't want them problems. I'm good.
That's not happening. I'm not even going to pretend. I didn't even know that was an option.
Yeah. An option.
So,
unfortunately, is an option.
I could have been telling people to like make me a priority in their feed.
Yes.
Marketing and I do not get along.
A lot of influencers.
It's been a thing.
It's been a while now, Brittany.
A while, yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, you know what this means? You have a life. You have a life. And you do not have time. We do not.
It's not that I have a life. It's just that I'm over here trying to figure out better marketing tactics for Instagram. And here y'all go telling me I could have just told people to make me set their notifications.
Yep. Could have had your SEO really popping.
Right. Like, damn. Do you know how much easier that would be to post if everybody could see it instead of them being like, oh, I saw your post from 5 days ago today.
You know what's so funny? You know what Christina told me the other day? Whenever she comments on my Flurry Latte account, I'm just like, love you, sissy, or something like that to make her stop commenting, right? One day she comes into the room. Mind you, she's in the other room when she's doing this. She goes, bitch, I'm trying to look like you have a little fan and you over here talking about some sisters.
Stop.
Right. Oh my God. My sisters do that too.
So savage.
I was
like, I'm doing this
I'm trying
for
to
you.
make it seem like, because she'll comment from her business Instagram and then she'll go to her regular one and then like she'll post in her stories and be like, "Ooh, she cute." I'll be like, "Thanks, sis." She was like, "Bitch, you messing it up." Well, again, sisters are the best and worst friends ever.
Oh my God. I'm leaning more towards worse.
No, but from earlier, Troy, you said you had a question.
Oh yeah, okay. So this was the last question I had to ask you guys because me and my other friend had a debate about this the other day.
Uh-oh.
Do you block and/or unfollow your ex-friend, or do you keep them on social media?
Ooh, I have 2 reasons for why I don't delete.
Well, no, you go. I want to hear these reasons.
So, like, I have some of the ones, like the ones I've been friends with for a long time. I've not been able to delete their social medias yet. They still see everything I'm doing, but I mute them. I didn't unfollow them. I just muted.
That's smart.
But then if we end it badly, baby, you got to see how good I'm doing without you, because like romantic relationships, I'm petty, and therefore I'm gonna start posting some real stuff on there that is directed at you, but you know it's you, and you can't say nothing because we're not friends no more.
Damn, you are.
I'm also very vindictive if my feelings get hurt, so that's probably another factor into this that I should look into. But I got enough stuff that my therapist deals with, so that's not it.
Okay.
That's definitely very petty. I will give you that. Petty Patty.
It's on par with Brittany though.
Petty boots. My last friendship breakup, I literally in the middle of the friendship. So the friendship breakup happened over a course of 2 months / 2 weeks. And literally in the thick of the 2 weeks, I went and I blocked her on everything.
Into the
mostly because I just knew that, like, because we also worked at the same job, and like she was in the process of moving to a different state. So at some point I wouldn't be seeing her anymore every day, and she would just be gone. And so I needed to block her on social media because I just didn't want to see her, period. I didn't want to know what she was up to. I didn't want to know what her life was like. I didn't want to have to see her stories. I just wanted her completely gone off of my social media, because the way that everything ended was so dramatic and so explosive, and I felt so like disrespected that I was just like, I don't even want to see anything. And I'm usually that person, like when I'm not friends with somebody anymore, unless it ended really badly, I usually don't block them because it's just like, whatever, who cares?
I need to make a quick side note because there was a question that was asked in the chat. They asked if I was a Scorpio, and here this heifer go talking about she's an Aquarius, just as bad. What?
Woo!
Slander. I am so tired of the Aquarian slander. In every one of my friend groups, I am the only Aquarius in like all of my friend groups. Y'all are gonna stop disrespecting us.
Hey.
Y'all are crazy though.
I'm a Virgo. The internet hates us.
First of all, Beyonce made you an entire love song. Like, you can like if anybody says anything about a Virgo,
she's a Virgo.
Like, Beyonce made me a love song. Screw y'all.
Beyonce's a Virgo. Of course, she made her own stuff a Virgo. That is the most Virgo shit I ever heard in my life.
I know, and I'm jealous because ain't no Aquarians out here making me love songs.
Oh my gosh, y'all are.
Instead, I'm getting compared to a Scorpio.
No, but seriously, I would say like, I see why you're being compared to a Scorpio, because those are all like the crazy signs.
To be clear, Scorpio is my moon. So the way my emotions react, it makes sense that people assume that I'm a Scorpio because that's my moon sign.
You want to hear how chaotic my big 3 is?
Oh
I'm
my
a
gosh,
Virgo sun, a Pisces moon, and a Sag rising.
Wow.
You're a Sag rising?
Yes.
Listen, some of my best amazing friends in my life are all Sagittarian women. December
'Cause we're the best.
Sagittarian women specifically. But them December Sagittarian men can jump off a cliff.
They're the worst. Period.
Not to
If a man
say
tells
as
me he's a
Aquarius, that is not helping
Sagittarius,
me.
if a man tells me that he's a Sagittarius, I walk away.
I feel like that's on the equivalent of I'm an alpha male.
And you have a podcast. And you think it's a shame that Kevin Samuels died.
Oh my God. We're not going there.
The red flag starter pack.
We about to get all types of comments telling us that's why we gonna be single forever.
Right. Calling us all types of spinsters and shit.
The way things look, that's actually looking like a better option.
Don't tease me with a good time.
Where? I'll be 80 going to Daiso by myself.
Oh my gosh, no, we'll be going together in our scooters.
Period.
Scooters.
Oh wait,
Okay.
I didn't answer my own question, did I?
No, you didn't.
No.
Because I knew the minute I said something about her being an Aquarius, she was gonna stop the whole
Yeah, because you stay randomly taking opportunities to drag my Aquarian.
Wait. What was the last? Before I answer the question, the last time I was on a podcast, something happened like this. I think it was because was it that Brittany said
what
she like
happened, but your response was that was very Aquarius of you, and I was like,
What?
wait, no, something happened, and I called her like Miss Jellybean or something.
oh my gosh, no, because you said you hated jelly beans, which is still blasphemy.
Oh, that's right, and that was weird.
And then the whole chat was like, "Yeah, jelly beans are disgusting."
It's okay. I understand that the chat still loves me. It just sometimes they hurt me too.
And I called you like the Miss Jellybean Queen or something.
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, everyone is rude.
Okay, but to answer the question, so I don't get off topic again, I'll say this: I am really lazy. Okay, I once had the same lock screen wallpaper for 3 straight years and never changed it. If I go out of my way to unfollow or soft block you, we will never speak again.
Not that voice. Oh my God.
It's the ominous voice for me.
You shall not be named. Like,
that means I really don't fuck with you. I don't want to see you. I don't want to accidentally stumble across a picture of you. I don't want to see about your birthday party or your wedding. Nothing. If I do that, no, that's overkill for me.
Ooh, I just keep hearing that Big Sean song in my head.
Oh my
I don't fuck with you.
I've only ever really blocked one person. That was that first girl. I didn't block her though. I just unfollowed her on everything. I think minus Facebook, just because I forgot Facebook existed. But the other friend, I have her on social media. So I mean, no beef. But if I were to do that, then that's dead. That means I really don't fuck with you anymore.
Well, guys, I think this friendship conversation was really great. But I'm gonna like rotate this back to Nekkid and ask you, are you reading any romance books this week? Or are you reading anything right now? Have you started reading anything? The way that both
my reading well, my reading time usually falls anywhere between 10 p.m. and 11 p.m. Like I usually read like the hour before bed. So I will be starting the Muted Hopelessness series tonight by Love Belvin. I'm very excited about it.
I bought the Predator series. So I know you are just so ready. I read in the mornings. So I will be starting tomorrow morning. My Kindle was dead this morning, so
damn.
We weren't getting any reading done today.
Kindle gets no love from you.
It does. That's why it's dead.
Oh, okay. That's why it's dead. Okay, that's fair. I thought it was just like unused.
Oh no, like I opened it in my reading. It sits in my reading chair and with my blanket. So when I wake up in the morning and go sit in the chair, it's right there. And I opened it and it was like, no, girl, you know better.
What are you? Okay, so you're reading the motorcycle and I'm reading the Love Belden series.
Mm-hmm. Troy's currently doing auntie status right now. So
oh, Troy, Brittany and I have to tell you about this book.
Oh yeah, we have to tell her now before we forget again, and then I can go into the details for this week.
Okay, so and y'all might be interested about this too. So I found this book, and it's by Shay Sanders, I want to say is the name of the author. But okay, so you know how a little while back everybody was like gagging about the fact that Lori Harvey and Michael B. Jordan broke up. You remember that? And remember how there was this conspiracy theory that they were in a PR relationship because he almost got canceled because they said that he didn't date black women because he was literally never pictured with any.
Yes.
Okay, so there is literally this author that decided to take that whole situation and make it into a black romance.
Really?
Yes, girl. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Okay, so essentially it's about this actor, and obviously he's basically Michael B. Jordan, but he's not. And he's dating, his last 3 girlfriends were white. And so his publicist comes to him and is like, bro, you're going to get canceled. You have to stop. You're going to end your career before it even begins. Like your main fan base is black women, and you've dated, the last 3 women you've dated have been white. And people are starting to say stuff on Twitter. Oh, and they even have this scene where they go through all his problematic tweets.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, you have had some problematic tweets,
Michael.
And they're like, all right. And he's like, all right, scrub those tweets. Like, I don't want the black women to turn on me. But long story short, his people come up with like a dossier, like a file of all these like beautiful up and coming like black women. Some of them are like socialites, some of them are actresses, some of them are singers. And they're like, okay, which one do you like? We're going to like broker a PR relationship for you with one of these black women. And they were like, it was so interesting. But essentially, he picks this one girl who's basically Lori Harvey. She's like an influencer. She's beautiful. She comes from a wealthy family. And then it's basically about just like the inner workings of their PR relationship and how that looks. And then obviously they start to actually fall for each other in real life. But it's absolutely fascinating. And reading that book has now like turned me to the dark side. And now I do believe that Michael B. Jordan and Lori Harvey were in a PR relationship because
Really?
I really do. I feel like they started off as a PR relationship and then they fell for each other. The power of fiction. But let me just pull up the book real fast. Brittany, did I ever send you the link?
I don't know. Check the group chat, probably. While Ocean is looking for that, though. So, if you guys want to continue in Nekkid for week 1, where we're doing our freestyle week, you can come join us on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a reading sprint. So we're only going to do an hour because we also are all hardworking individuals. So we don't want to take up too much of your time. But yeah, come join us. We'll all be reading. I will be in my reading chair, and I will actually turn my camera on so y'all can see the vibe I set for my reading time.
I love it.
Also, dang, I started Read, Love, Listen said I started like 5 books. Fake It Till You Bake It. Ooh, that sounds interesting. Fake It Till You Bake It. No Longer Afraid by CCJ. Slam Dunked by Love by Jamie Wesley, Desires of the Harvest Moon, and Midnight in Manhattan. Also, may try reading Crave 2. Oh, Crave has a part 2. Turn up.
That is awesome. So I put the name of the book in the chat for anybody that's interested.
Act Like You Mean It. That is...
And then I just sent...
That's funny. I'm ready.
Oh, it's so good. Like, it's actually good, which is also nice. Like, it's not just like capitalizing off of, media headlines. It's actually also well written and interesting.
Shay also wrote that book fast as hell, by the way.
So fast. I was like, damn, okay.
It's like,
But
y'all
yeah,
write
it was fun to read. So
This is really interesting.
I
really
recommend.
One, I think the book sounds really interesting, and two, I really enjoy just having stupid conversations with y'all. So
It's
I
only
might read it just to
179
contribute.
pages, and we should all read it.
It's not random. We should all read it.
So targeted.
Like, okay, ma'am. Noted. Like,
I was trying
add
not to
that
be
the
aggressive.
list. Yeah, it
Yes.
wasn't aggressive. It was just, it was very clear on what the intentions were. That's how I'll put it. It's
Oh
very
my
clear.
gosh.
All right. Well, guys, we're going to head out because we got lives and work and stuff. It's been great hanging out with y'all and chatting with y'all today.
And we will see y'all on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Check us out on Instagram because I worked my ass off on these graphics. So y'all gonna see some posts. Interact with them. Thanks so much.
Yes,
I'm dead.
Make sure you interact with all of the Aquarian Queens graphics.
Yes.
Thanks.
I cannot.
All right, guys.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.